It's a smart takeout. It's Cado. Running after goal. I think it is going after goal. Looking to play from deep in out. It's a smashing ball. It's Martins.
Jersey, your goal.
Oh, it's just out to the goal.
Jersey.
What a wonderful finish. That is the most embarrassing goal. Oh, what a goal. With something like nothing. He struck it sweetly and doesn't get a score on the goal. They're all copybooks off.
Sound.
You definitely know what time it is. It is Cruise on Melody 100.7 FM. And the first half of the show is, of course, sport. We go from now until the hour of 7 p.m. taking you around the world of sport. I won't be doing it alone today. I've got my own brother from another mother with me, Bobola.
Daniel, good evening. I mean, the energy is high today. It's so nice to be here to talk sports. I mean, we've got a lot of stories. We talked about some stories this morning, but we're not able to dissect it because of the few minutes we had early in this morning. But later today, or today, this evening, we'll be talking about some of the stories extensively. We'll be dissecting it. And you know how we say it here. This is where we give you the best of sporting stories making rounds in the world of sport. I mean, not just football, we talk basketball, we talk all of the stories. I mean, because sport encompasses all sports rounds, not just football alone. And that's what we do here on Melody 100.7 FM. Good evening, Daniel. Good evening to all our listeners once again. It's so nice to be here.
Of course, that's it from Bobola saying it's nice to be here. You know what we do. We take you around the world of sports, of course, from the stories from whom talk about on-field games, off-field stories, a lot of things to talk about today. Like many things we talked about this morning, we could not look into very well. That's why today I'm welcoming you on behalf of everyone that will be making this show a success today. Talk about Marcus Gavi, as my boss will call him. Talk about Marcus there, who is in charge of streaming. Saying big ups to you there. Also big thanks to all, of course, people at the power sector. I think is right now Moses, who is in charge right now, making sure that there is power and you get to see our faces today. And of course, a big thanks to, of course, the GM himself, our sport marshal here. We can't do it without him. He's the one that said, guys, keep on going. I'm watching you. And of course, big ups to our own Eniola Afolabi. And to himself, I mean, the one we're subbing for right now. Talk about the sport finest himself. I call him the sport finest. Yes, he's saying we should be watching it for him from home. I mean, playing the back line, trying to make sure that we don't concede a goal while he's away. And that's what we're doing here. Talk about, of course, pretty finest at Degoki. And we have, on behalf of everyone, we welcome you onto the show. Let's go, let's ride. let's start, of course, from the home front. Rivers United seek fans' support ahead of their final home game. I mean, Bobola, we all know Rivers United. We know there's a lot of things at stake for them right now. Rivers United are optimistic of securing a place in the CAF Champions League next season. And Penalty George side, of course, occupied a second position with 61 points. The former champions will need to beat Nasarawa United in their final game of the season to seal a second position place. And of course, this is their manager saying, we know Sunday's result wasn't what we hoped for, but let's not overlook the significance of what we achieved in Ilorin. We secured a continental ticket. Rivers United, of course, wrote to the press, and of course, this is a huge milestone for the club, and we are proud of everyone who's contributed to this success. While we may have missed out on the league title, our focus is now shifted to sealing the CAF Champions League spot on March Day 38. Let's come together and push for a win against Nasarawa United. I mean, Rivers, Nasarawa United, March Day 38. A lot at stake for Rivers United.
Yeah, a lot at stake. I mean, I don't think it's too much for them, because right now they've qualified for the Confederations Cup, which is very, very much important. And I have to give big kudos to this man, that's Finidi George, the coach of Rivers United. Remember what went through during his spy in the Super Eagles of Nigeria, where he was the coach for a short spell. It didn't go well for him, you understand? And people thought that at some point he's just going to lay back, he's not going to do anything afterwards. But you know what? He took up the Rivers United job, and maybe not first, he took the second position, which is not bad. I mean, finishing with 61 points, I think is kudos to them. The last game was an away game for them, because that was against Ilorin, yeah, Kwara, yeah. So it was very, very hard for them. It was tough for them. 3-1, he ended, but Rivers United were able to score a goal. So the last game for them is going to be against Nasarawa United, which they're going to be playing at home. And you know what? Right now, they know what's at stake. I mean, second position and maybe third position is sealed up for them, because Abia Warriors are coming there, third position with 60 points. So it's just 1 point difference between Rivers United and Abia Warriors.
And so, of course, still on Abia, I'm going to go to Abia Warriors after that, of course, because Abia Warriors manager is already saying the success for them this season is going to be continental. And Abia Warriors head coach Imama has outlined the steps that the team will take to ensure strong performance in next season's CAF inter-club competition. Of course, the Umaya-based side will represent Nigeria on the continental stage. I mean, it sounded like they've secured it already.
Yeah.
And of course, he has emphasized that the importance of strengthening the squad ahead of that next season continental. I mean,
yeah, I think they're already preparing for next season, because I mean, as much as I would say the three teams, that's Remo Stars, Rivers United, and Abia Warriors, they've dominated Nigeria. Now they would have to show what they've got outside of Nigeria, on the continental stage. I mean, within Africa. So I mean, they have to bolster their squad. They can't go with the same squad. We saw what happened in the last season. The likes of Remo Stars, they didn't even go through the tournament. You understand? They during the playoff they went off, but only Eyimba scaled through, and we know how they were bamboozled out of their league. I mean, the top four in their league right there. So I mean, it's so sad for the Nigerian teams in the last outing. So they would be looking forward to bolster their squad and making it get better right there. And for Abia Warriors, they would be playing Ikorodu City in their next game. That's the final fixture.
And I know that's not going to be easy for them.
And you know what funny thing? If Ikorodu had won Remo Stars, it would have been very tight. Yeah. Because they would have gotten all 3 points in their last game, which would have taken Ikorodu City to 59 points. You understand? And Abia Warriors will be on 60 points. So it would have been all to play for in the last one, because Ikorodu City would be going there fighting. But they lost their games, sadly, to Remo Stars. And that's Abia Warriors now have at stake to at least qualify. Even if they don't win their game against their next game, I mean, they will still qualify.
At least qualification is the priority right now. Still, of course, in the MPFL, Sunshine Stars suspend Suraju over disparaging remarks. Of course, we're just getting the report right now that recently relegated Nigerian Premier League side Sunshine Stars has suspended midfielder Ibrahim Suraju over disparaging comments he made about the club. According to the statement, Suraju appeared in a viral video where he was seen making inappropriate remarks about his employer. In response, the club has initiated an internal investigation to uncover the circumstance surrounding his conduct. I mean, they said we do not intend to be unnecessarily harsh on any of our hardworking players. And that's what he said in the statement. He said, but we will not tolerate any form of indiscipline from individual whose action do not reflect the values and intentions of the club. I mean, you're still there, you're still getting paid by the club. You go out there talking carelessly. I mean, we're in a media age. You don't even have to let anyone tell you before you know that there are cameras everywhere now.
Let me use the pigeon language and say body day out right
now. Yeah, definitely. A lot of things come out of emotions.
Sunshine Stars right now, I mean, they've been relegated. So, I mean, different things will be spanning out right now. Remember, the men's teams, the men's team, they've not done well. Also, the women, they've not done well. So, I mean, both sides, they've not been
having it. So, it's going to be the scapegoat.
So, I mean, just right now.
Because they really need one.
Yeah, but emotions are flying out right now. They're in a very delicate situation. I just hope it doesn't escalate. I mean, for a player coming out to see all of that, I mean, it's sad. But at the same time, maybe they should just try and work better for next season, because they would be playing in the NLL. I mean, they should leave all of these things. I understand how the emotions can be flying. I mean, teams getting relegated is so sad.
But do you encourage such behavior from a player? I mean, you know emotions happens in football. It's part of professionalism for you to be able to control yourself, especially in times like this. A player going out saying things like that in the viral video doesn't speak well for the club. The club should defend itself.
Yeah, I mean, even in Europe, we see when players come out to say all of that and they get sanctioned by the club. So, I mean, I'm not supporting what the player has done. In fact, I didn't see the video. I mean, maybe if I had seen the video, I would have known the kind of remarks he made, and I would have judged.
He was actually criticizing the club leadership as how they've been, not so good with everything, and blaming them. You are the guys. Eventually, you are the guys at the end of everything. Yeah. You are the ones on the pitch. You are the one playing the game. But we know that there are a lot of things that contribute to how you perform. So I think he's trying to blame everything on the management, which is actually, it's time to play the blame game.
Yeah. In as much as things might not be going out well, I think the fans should do that, not the players.
Not the players.
Not the players.
But that's what happens when the player is a fan as well. Because this happens a lot. When a player is already a fan, maybe before becoming a player, you just can't help it sometimes.
Yeah, but I think players, just like I said, emotions are flying out. I mean, the player right now probably is under a contract, maybe 2 years, and at this point in time, maybe has not performed up to par where a team in the NPFL would sign him. So going to the NLL, emotions and all of it. So I hope they resolve it. But the players definitely should be punished, because at least, I mean, he made a statement which he wasn't supposed to do.
I can only say they tendered the judgment with mercy, because as they also said, emotion is flying, and when a player is a fan, it can be very difficult to swallow days like this with a lot of heads up. So of course, let's go from there to Egypt, where our boys are doing well. Talk about it, under 20 Flying Eagles, of course, and the manager is speaking. Yes, Zubairu promises more composed Flying Eagles against South Africa. We talked about this, that the team we see is a very shaky one. We don't know exactly what is happening with them, but the manager is saying he has assured Nigerians on the 20 squad will perform even better when they face South Africans, of course, in the first semi-final of the ongoing African Under 20 Cup of Nations in Ismaili on Thursday evening. And of course, he said, I believe we are going to have a great semi-final against South Africa. I can guarantee that our team will approach the game with a more better and less anxiety. Of course, now that the FIBA World Cup qualification is no longer a burden on them again now.
Yeah.
I think that's the statement he's trying to make. He said now that there is no more struggle to qualify for World Cup now, guys can play from more confident place now.
Yeah, I mean, they know they've gotten the spot that they want. That's the World Cup, because every young player wants to play.
Also want to be there.
They want to be at that big stage, because that's where, I mean, teams will be looking at you. Not just teams, top teams.
Top teams, definitely. Yeah, because when you're under 20, you're just at the prime stage.
Yeah. So the likes of, I mean, that was the under 17. The likes of Osimhen, that was where they got the big stage. The likes of Chukwueze, Iheanacho. Yeah. So, I mean, these players will want to play at the World Cup, which they have done, and it's nice defeating the former champions. That's the AFCON under 20 former champions. So it's really nice. I'm happy for the boys. But yeah, their game really has to step up, because now I think their mind should be all about winning. That's fine. But at the same time, they should be thinking about the World Cup, which is coming very, very soon. And but one thing I can boast of is, so far, their defense so solid, so solid, led by Bamei. Even Bamei had doubts when the list was released. I mean, I think I talked about it on the show where I had problems with Bamei. I mean, with his because Bamei has been playing there for a long time. I mean, the under 17, the under 20. I mean, I want fresh legs, but so far this tournament, he has impressed me so well. So, and it's led by him. He's the captain of the team. He scored a goal, scored a penalty. So, I think so far the defense for me is solid, but the midfield to the attack line, I think they've not really gotten themselves. But you know one thing, each of the games these guys have been improving. I mean, just not conceding a goal, which is. But for Kenya, I don't know what happened against Kenya because they conceded 2 goals. But every other game they've not conceded, so which is nice. I think they just have to get better, and hopefully some of these guys here. Now we talked about something, Daniel.
Yeah.
This afternoon, we're having a discussion. Yeah, if you remember. I said, hopefully, most of these players
will be there to go to the World Cup.
Because
I mean,
now,
maybe that's a discussion for another day. Let's go to the class right now. I mean, the class is getting. I mean, the class is still not filled yet. Captain is already in class anyway. Jola Oshoario, as usual. So keep up with the good work, of course. Good evening, watching you from Aramakide up Inter Milan. I just hope this year Inter Milan gets to win the Champions League eventually, because your up Inter Milan is always there. Well, thank you. We're waiting for your episode today. I want to see what you want to write about now that there's no any game. Hopefully you write about, of course, the Flying Eagles, and of course some other story here. I mean, we're just talking about the Flying Eagles, and right here we have the South African coach is saying something. He said Nigerian players call us their junior brothers. And of course, this is of course coming from the South African under-20 coach, and he's saying we are staying at the same hotel, and already they are saying we are their junior brothers. So you will know it will be a tough game, especially with the rivalry. And he said, I have achieved some special things as a coach. I took Morano Gallant to the Confederation Cup semi-finals. I mean, the manager is trying to read out his CV here. He said, but I regard taking this team to the semi-final even more, and to the World Cup. So now, these kind of things, I don't know whether it's true, but our boys are already, laying claim that they are the big boys, and the South African guys are the junior brothers. Is this kind of thing going to help going into a game like this?
One thing is the under-20 senior brothers. That's the Super Eagles. I mean, they always face a South African.
I think it's always a battle over Amapiano.
It's always a battle, yeah. I mean, when you check social medias, you get to see, I mean, people talking about South Africa. But I think the dominant side against Nigeria is Ghana.
When it's Ghana, it's Jollof.
When it's Ghana, then. But I think after Ghana, then it's South Africa, because we have
the two rivalries.
Yeah, we always get to play them, and even the ladies too. I mean, they've been the ones stopping Nigeria when it comes to winning the AFCON, that's the African Women's Cup of Nations, and when it comes to the ladies, right there. But these guys, I think for the South African side, they've not been so bad this season. I mean, I said this season, but in the competition, they've not been so bad. I mean, their first game, they lost to Egypt, but ever since then, it's been wins. Yeah. But they had draws again. A draw against Zambia. But when you look at the caliber of teams that they won, Tanzania, Sierra Leone for me surprised me this season, because I mean, at some point they were first in the group when they defeated Egypt, but they're not top teams. The likes of Sierra Leone, the likes of Tanzania, which South Africa, I mean, eventually won. Like the likes of Sierra Leone and Tanzania, which they won. They're not top teams. I think amongst all the teams that they faced, DR Congo for me have been set aside. Not just because, I mean, DR Congo are doing well lately at the senior level, but I watched their game. Their defense, just like their senior brothers, are so solid. So, I mean, they've done well. But for South Africa to have removed them at the playoff, I think it's top for them. So, now, what am I driving at? South Africa, for me, when it comes to the competition right now, they're going to be very, very tough.
Very tough, yeah.
Tough against our South African guy, but they've not faced a very, very tough opponent. Maybe.
And are we one?
We are. I mean, defeating Senegal. I mean, we have to give them out
on penalties. Okay. Okay. Now let's go a little bit out of, still of course talking about Nigerians, but these are Nigerians doing well abroad, and from there we'll be heading over to Europe. Well, let's talk about a Nigerian here who's representing Germany, and that's talking about Karim Adeyemi. He's saying that this is why he made a decision to represent, of course, Germany over Nigeria. He said it's a difficult question. I've explained to my father many times, and he said, of course, I received offers from Germany, and of course, I had a good feeling about it, and at the end, I decided to play for Germany. And said it's that simple. So, I mean, we've seen this. We have Nigerian players playing everywhere. who always still, boast of their heritage. Bukayo Saka has been in Nigeria before. Karim Adeyemi has properties in Nigeria, in Ogun State to be precise. So, what do you think we need to do? I mean, going forward to ensure that our boys still see representing home as something really important, something honorable, something really, really with so much honor. I mean, we have players like Osazio Dewingen, who chose Nigeria that time over Russia.
Yeah.
He had all the color to say, okay, let me just click with Russia. But Osazio said he had to pick up the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Yeah. And he did great with us.
Yeah, one of the things some of these guys think about is, when you play for the under 17 in a foreign team,
it's very difficult.
Under 17, you play under 21.
But Osazio did the same thing with Russia. He did the same.
I mean, all players are different. But there are some certain players that when they play the under 17, play the under 21, and they look at their chances of getting to the senior team, and they be like, oh, I can actually make it to Germany. When you compare Germany and Nigeria, when talking about football, I mean, we are miles apart. Germany is way, way bigger than Nigeria. So, in the World Cup, you're guaranteed of at least getting to the semi-finals or
at least
quarterfinals.
But this hasn't get. I don't think he's got many starts for Germany yet.
He's young. Karim Adeyemi is still really young. I mean,
but it feels like he's had a very good shot at his career. I mean, he was there about 2 seasons ago. He was up there. I mean, Chelsea, big teams were coming for him, but it's not been the same in the last. Season or so.
It's not been the same. I mean, we talk about form every time when we talk about players.
And we know when player go up like that and down.
Okay, are you trying to say that now, Karim?
I'm feeling like that's it.
He might not get that pull-up.
Yeah, I'm feeling like that.
But I mean, I'm looking at the
top players in Germany. The competition is intense. One of the top 5 leagues in the world
right now. But when you look at the left wing position, which Karim Adeyemi plays, I mean, there are players that play there.
We've got Musiala who can also go to that side.
But he plays more as a 10. I don't think he has.
Sajid Gnabry is there. A lot of competition.
Gnabry has been on the bench and injury worries. And Gnabry, for me, doesn't have that age on his side anymore. So they are looking for a younger prospect. I mean, so Nagelsmann, which a coach, would be looking for a young prospect. Nagelsmann is young. So he would be looking for
the same.
You get. So I think Karim Adeyemi
might still be able to get a shot at it.
Yeah, he might still be able to get a shot. But one thing about Karim Adeyemi, he has an academy right here in Nigeria. He has not left Nigeria.
He's very rooted in Nigeria.
He's very rooted. He comes to Nigeria often. I mean, even if he plays for Germany, I don't mind because he's investing in Nigeria. I mean, we have seen young players leave academy, that Adeyemi academy. I mean,
we're going out, bringing resources to come and improve the home.
He helps us at the front. He helps us in Nigeria right there. So that's it for me.
All right, still on another Nigerians doing very well abroad, and that is this is someone I looked into this guy today, and I'm like, it's not bad after all. I mean, if not that, okay, let me just take the story. That's Arokodare.
Okay.
I mean, he said it's true to win the golden shoe. Of course, Tolu Arokodare is determined to win more individual laurels after claiming the Ebony Shoe Award in Belgium. And the award recognizes the best African in the Belgian Pro League each season. The 24-year-old was named the recipe of the 2025 edition of the individual accolade at, an elaborate ceremony in Brazil on Monday. I mean, he said, yes, this is definitely my biggest prize in my career so far, although I hope to even win a bigger prize, and they are coming. I want to keep going up, and that can be in any competition. So if I keep working hard, I will get the chances I deserve, but I'm happy that my name is in the history books, and this is a very huge history books that includes the likes of Daniel Amokachi and Rashidi Ekini, I mean, of the great Nigerian players that have been there before. So let's talk about Arokodare. The competition up front is very tight. We know the Belgian league is not like that top league. But do you think there are times when we need to give these guys a chance and let them try their best in the national team?
He was given a chance for the Super Eagles recently.
Was it a start?
It wasn't a start. We have a certain...
There's a difference between when you come a start.
You know one thing? We have one of the best strikers right now.
Yeah.
In the world, in quotes, some people might argue.
Definitely.
Arguably. Yeah. Victor James Osimhen, and it was fit. And the coach, Eric Schell, decided to give Arokodare a chance in that one. And I don't think it was bad. And when he came on, I think he didn't get any assists, but he was very, very influential at the front. He knows how to hold up the ball. He's very good at hold up plays right there. So we have a lot of strikers right now doing well.
The competition is intense.
It's really, really tough. And for Arokodare, he has scored fantastically this season.
I think this season he's done better than Boniface.
Yeah, he's done better than Boniface. Way better. And as much as I don't want to compare the German league
of course,
with the Belgian league, but
definitely.
it still stands out for them because, I mean, highest goal scorer right there. He's just big ups to him right there, winning the Ebony Award. And it's awards that some Nigerians have won. The legacy continues. Paul Onuachi won that award, and so many other greats they've won it, Amukachi and all of it. So it's nice. I love the fact that he fired in all cylinders this season, and I hope he continues. Now, you know one thing about Nigerian players, the consistency. Look at Onuachi, who has won this award. What happened? He went to Southampton. He couldn't handle the pressure. Although lately he started to do well, but it wasn't exactly tough, just like the way he was performing against. So I just hope he is consistent, and his style of play is very good. He's tall, lanky. I mean, has good shots, and he can also air the ball.
Yeah.
I mean, if he continues, I mean, why not? He can get more awards like that there.
All right, of course, still on Nigerians doing well abroad, but this is not so good news. One of our own talk about Nigerian striker. Forest confirmed Awoniyi surgery.
I saw it.
I mean, on Sunday, I think we had a little chat about it the other day.
Yeah.
The owner of Leicester City was furious after the game as to why Awoniyi was brought out of the game despite the player's willingness, because it was clear that he wants to continue the game. But he was so wounded, and now it's been confirmed that the surgery is already is successful. He's fit now. I mean, he's back at home now, trying to recover from that. But two things I want us to look into.
Yeah.
How much our boys give away when they go represent their club compared to when they come to represent the country?
Now, are you talking as regards
this
Awoniyi?
Not just Awoniyi alone.
Okay.
We've seen these guys take serious blows defending their club. We know it's a lot of money there, of course. We know that's where the major. I know where you're going to go. I know you're going to do that. But eventually, where is the pride? Representing your country comes with a pride.
Yeah. Okay, so you feel like this guy should be able to perform well?
When I see England, Spain, all of the national teams, I still see them giving the same.
The zeal, the energy.
Yeah, I still see the players giving the same as they give to the club.
Now, some of them are like, let's take for instance Awoniyi. It's not a starter, but he plays for Nottingham Forest in the EPL. So everybody feels like, I mean,
number 9.
He has the name. You understand? But it's not. He doesn't play consistently.
But he was there before Chris Wood came.
Yeah, he was there, but he didn't perform so well. I mean, he was given the opportunity, but he didn't perform so well. But let me just briefly talk about it before I get to your question. For Awoniyi, sad one for him. I think he's not had the best season now, coupled with injury, and you're fighting for a slot where there's Chris Wood, who is firing in all cylinders. I think it's just so sad for him. I just want to wish him speedy recovery because I mean, I will for him, like the way Victor James Osimhen calls him Awo. So I think Awo for me, a strong guy, and I think for me, he can always get better. I mean, looking at the way he's been when it comes to playing football, I mean, he's been through a lot. And when you talk about injury history, he's been a lot. He's been injured so well. I mean, he has had broken nose, muscle injury, abdominal strain. So it's more or less like an injury.
This one doesn't look good because he actually ran into the goalpost.
Yeah, but like just one thing I just feel about this whole situation is the league is gradually getting to an end. So it's not going to really affect him. He has the break to recover and get himself back. But I just want to wish him speedy recovery right there. And now, talking about the question that you asked, that why did
they give so much? I mean, because you get to ask, when was the last time we see any of our players running into post or getting so injured or anything? Because all this boils down to that question, why we are not getting the result. I mean, we are struggling to qualify for the World Cup.
I think the ones that perform well at their clubs still perform well at the national team. Yeah. I have said it before. We think we have world-class players. We don't have world-class players. We don't have top-class players.
Oh, come on. We actually have world-class players. Because Osimhen was right there, top 8 2 seasons ago. So to me, I'm
not just talking about one. I think in the whole of the squad, maybe Osimhen is world-class.
But even Lookman is close. Lookman was top 15. I mean, maybe top 12.
And the Ballon d'Or.
In the Ballon d'Or list a couple of years ago.
You know how I try to rate world-class players? Consistency. If you do it 3 seasons...
Don't go there again.
You do it 3 seasons,
so that will bring us to the last thing we're going to talk about today. That's Yamal and, of course, the Ballon d'Or thing.
We're not going there yet. We're not there
yet. So let me hear that from you.
Yeah. So we just think we have top players, and maybe I would just like to call some of them average players.
Average?
Yeah.
I mean, the likes of Moses Simon, I can agree, but Alex Iwobi.
Alex Iwobi is average.
My God.
He's average.
You go from Arsenal to Everton and you form and you're doing...
Yeah, going down, my brother.
Average.
From Arsenal to
So
Everton.
after average, what's next?
Mid. Then low class.
I mean, people in class, I hope you're listening to Bobola, please. I want you to say something. How do you rate player from top class, world class, top class, average, mid class, and no class?
When there's an exam, 70 is high, that's excellent. Then there's 60 for B, then 50. You don't have 50. That's
so, but when you're 40,
40 is like.
So you are putting Iwobi in a class of 40?
50. That's average. You understand? I don't think it's top
not
class.
Good, not bad.
Not good. In the middle, it can always get better. You get so, and that's the way other players.
Lookman,
top class.
Top class.
Yeah.
Osimhen.
What class?
Oh my God, this is actually interesting. Class, let's get to talk about this, please. How do you rate your players? World class, top class, and what do you call them again? Average,
and
mid,
no class,
no class,
mid, low class.
So the likes of, it will be for you is. So what do you call the one we just talked about? The number 9. Awoni. Average.
I don't want to call him mid.
That's below
average.
Jesus. All right, that's Bobola's opinion anyway, and I'm not sure if we agree with.
But what do you think, Daniel? I mean, I know you're the one anchoring, but what do you think? I want to put you on the spot.
Seriously, I think for me, Osimhen is world class.
Yeah.
Lookman is top class.
Top class.
But
you're following my analogy.
But I don't think Iwobi is average.
You think Iwobi is top class?
What he did this season is unbelievable for me. I think I'll put Iwobi there, something a little bit over average. If there's another class before the top class, because I know the top is actually top.
Top, yeah.
So for me, consistency matter. It's done. That's why I mentioned those clubs. Each club he's been to is a starter. I know from going to Arsenal and down and everything, but if you look at the Arsenal squad right now, I don't think there are many ball carrier as Osimhen. As Iwobi right now.
Iwobi. Odegaard.
That's after Odegaard. I don't think Partey can carry ball like this guy can do. I don't think even Declan Rice is just a good blocker. He can do the dirty jobs. But I don't think anyone can carry ball like.
You think Iwobi is still needed in the Arsenal squad?
He will be a very good ball mover for them. At least it would a little bit make it easier for Odegaard if he was there. Well, let's talk about another Nigerian player, of course, doing well. I mean, this is the one everybody wants to talk about. Victor James Osimhen is in the news again today, and this one Juventus chief is saying they are not interested in Victor Osimhen.
They should not be interested.
And we know why they are coming out to say that. Maybe because the release clause is 75 million euros and all of that.
Yeah.
But do you think there's actually anything who is sincerely coming out to say this and is really, really sincere that we are not interested in Victor Osimhen at the moment?
I mean,
or are you saying it out of some beef?
No, maybe not beef. Maybe they don't have the capacity to get him. They are just trying to. Just take away the rumors.
He said it's a rumor. He said Juventus does not want the player.
Yeah, because we've read that in news that Juventus are interested in him. Maybe the sport director is just coming out to say that, we are not interested, and maybe they don't have issues about Victor James Osimhen. But honestly, if you ask me if I'm Osimhen's brother
we've said this now. Osimhen is moving close to that decision gradually.
Yeah.
Few more games and the market is open. We know the market is open already. There are a lot of news we are hearing. Yesterday was Chelsea will be sitting with his agent. Today Juventus is saying they are not interested. But we all know that even though the news is not carrying it, something is happening underneath with Victor James Osimhen.
Yeah.
As we get closer to the end of the season, how do you feel personally as a fan who's waiting for Osimhen to make a decision?
You know that popular slang of Najem Russian.
That's what he is right now.
That should be.
He is a hot kick right now.
Yeah, it's hot. And
PSG needs a striker.
They need a striker.
As even Liverpool now needs a striker. Because Nunez is going to leave.
Yeah.
They are saying he's going
according to reports, and Nunez has not performed up to that level. When you look at top teams right now, maybe apart from the likes of Manchester City, the likes of Real Madrid, the likes of Barca.
Even Real Madrid still don't have an out of
nine. Yeah. So every team needs a number 9.
I think Osimhen is going to have a very long ride this summer.
He has to consider so many things. Which he has always been considering. That's the money factor. So
come on, you guys talk about the money factor a lot. You talk about Osimhen not going. I said if it's about money, let him go to Saudi.
Yeah, but at the same time, I don't think Osimhen wants to make that move to Saudi right now.
But at the same time, I don't think he's got a
prime.
shot at anything in Europe anymore.
At shot?
I mean, if he's shooting at anything to be Ballon d'Or, and it's not going to be easy for him that because we know players who right now.
But who says they can't win it? I mean, if you go to a good team and they win the Champions
when
League,
you are
Victor,
Victor James Osimhen with that color, it's not easy for you.
That's what you think, Daniel.
I mean, that's not what I think. Since when was the last time we've seen an African player win Ballon d'Or?
Have they performed
way
up to
back
that
as
level?
George Weah.
Have they performed up to that level?
Come
That's what you should be
on.
asking, Daniel.
They've been there. Samuel Eto'o has been there. We can't deny that.
There were people better than him in that season.
Come on, when he was at Inter Milan, Samuel Eto'o had a treble. He won the Champions League, won the league, won the Coppa Italia. Of course, we know that Messi won the Ballon d'Or.
He won the Ballon d'Or.
And it wasn't a deserved because.
But remember something, Daniel. Remember something. Snyder was in the news. Because
Yeah,
Snyder was
even better because he was the World Cup finalist.
He was in the World Cup final. So if all teams should have gone well, and if they weren't going to give Messi, it should have been Snyder. Because Snyder had the World Cup to back on that.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. Yet he didn't go to Snyder, let alone that coming to Samuel Eto'o. So what do you think will make someone like Victor
Snyder is
Osimhen?
not black.
I mean, you know what I'm.
But
I'm saying.
Salah has been second, third. I think he has been second.
And that's how close we've always go. That's how close we've always get.
But honestly, I just think we African players should perform way better.
Come on, you don't do more than what Victor James is doing right now. How many strikers do you want to put above him this season? After the likes of maybe Gyökeres, who is scoring in the league you don't rate so much. What James is doing in Galatasaray, it's.
Yes. Well, this is not the first time we are seeing in Nigeria.
Can you mention 3 strikers above him right now?
And
in the world.
In the world right now?
Yes.
Erling Haaland, Alexander Isak. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Are you hearing that? Isaac.
Yes.
Above Victor Osimhen.
Yes.
Isaac is playing for Newcastle United.
It doesn't matter.
Osimhen is about to win the Turkish league.
I mean, compare the Premier League and the Turkish league. Don't talk about how many.
Isaac is not going to. He's not even in top 4.
Isak is not in top 4.
Okay, he's third. I think right now.
He's in contention. Yeah.
He's in contention, but
qualifying for the Champions League. And look at.
Would you prefer Man United sign Isaac or Osimhen? Let me put you to that.
Isak or Osimhen?
I don't want that quiet. I don't want you that
Isak
quiet.
or Osimhen? Why are you putting?
No.
Don't put me on the spot.
No. You just made him look better now.
For me, Isak has been in the Premier League.
Isaac or Osimhen?
Isak. Isak. I've said it here.
You guys on Facebook, please don't go there. Go right now to our Facebook platform, Melody 100.7 FM. I mean, Bobola is saying something, and maybe one of these days we'll get to that on Gladiators. And Jesus is Lord. I can't believe this. He said Isaac above Victor Osimhen.
Yes, that's my decision. That's what I think right now.
So how many things do we see going after Isaac right now as they're going for Victor James?
I think for Isak is actually a fine striker, but they know that right now to get Isak, I mean.
But Victor James Osimhen is a proper striker.
He's a good striker.
He's a fighter. He delivers.
What I'm saying, Osimhen's contract is in 6 months. It's 6 months. It's like 6 months. So definitely June, July is off his contract. So it's very much open. And I used to say something. There are not too many fantastic strikers in the world right now. Very, very few. I mean, when you talk about fantastic striker, maybe just 7, 8. You understand? So
striker who's got everything, clinical strength,
and all of it. So that's why I think Victor James Osimhen is in the news right now, because his contract is going to expire soon, and Galatasaray, and they know that he would want to play at the top level because he was coming from Napoli, which was one of the top leagues right there. So I think that's why Victor James Osimhen is in the news right now. But if you ask me, I think Isak, Erling Haaland, Lewandowski, Isak, these guys are up there.
So you are putting Lewandowski, Haaland, and Isak in the same mix?
No, I'm talking about now in terms of hierarchy, Daniel. In terms of hierarchy, Erling Haaland is first for me.
For me, he's not even first.
Erling Haaland is first. I mean, you would say
he wasn't. He's not even there. This season is even actually not there for him. I mean, if you're talking about this season, he's not even first. He's not second.
Who?
Haaland.
Haaland is not first.
He's not first. He's not second this season.
Who are you going to give as?
He's not even the top scorer in the Premier League.
It doesn't matter.
Mohamed Salah and Wenger is.
He's the top. But he has won the Golden Boot before.
No. We're talking about this season. This season, I will still put Gyökeres above him. I'll put Victor James Osimhen. I'll put Isak above him. And I'll still
above Erling Haaland.
Above Erling, and I'll put Kylian Mbappe, who is actually not an outright striker.
I mean, Mbappe can be there. Mbappe can be
there.
But
Haaland is not first. He's not first in the world right now.
In the world, the best striker for me, I think Haaland. I mean, guys, you can go on to put it there, out there. On Facebook, your top 5. For me, Erling Haaland, number one.
Oh my God.
The second for me, Lewandowski. Third for me,
Why do you have
Kylian
bad
Mbappe.
choices tonight?
Kylian Mbappe is there. Isak is there. Maybe I would smuggle.
And you haven't mentioned Victor Osimhen.
Gyökeres there. Osimhen can be 7th
Wow.
in my books. Daniel, mention yours. I've said my top 5. Mention yours, Daniel.
Like, Bobola is shocking me right now. He mentioned 6 strikers in the world and Victor Osimhen's name is not there. Look at the list. You just put out Haaland, Gyökeres, Isak.
I'm not saying.
We're even going to mention Albert.
I didn't mention Albert. I didn't say Osimhen is a bad striker. I feel like these guys are above him right now.
All right, let me take this story, Bobola, and this is just very funny because this is a Tottenham player. Maybe let's just call him a Tottenham legend right now. Talking about Son, he's saying, "I want to end my trophy drought." Yeah, why are you laughing? Because he's going to actually have a shot at it.
United, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Tottenham star Son says he has expressed his desperation to win a trophy with the club for the first time, and the 32-year-old is yet to win a single trophy since joining Tottenham from Bayer Leverkusen back in 2015. Now, 10 years since joining Tottenham, he's getting a shot, a very major shot, because it was at the Champions League final.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now he's getting another one, a Europa League final against Manchester United. I mean, I keep on seeing every signs that it's going to be a more interesting final than the Conference League final and the Champions League final.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one because of the fact that it's 2 teams from the EPL.
A lot of things at stake for them.
Yeah.
Both of them want to win the trophy. Both of them want to go to Europe.
Yeah, and both of them are 16th and 17th.
Both of them.
In the Premier League. So it's going to be a tough battle.
Oh my goodness.
It's going to be a tough battle. And for some of the Tottenham players, the likes of Son, who's been in the club for a long time, they've not won a trophy. And they've been very close. And for United, a new manager too. And some of the young boys too.
Who do you think has a lot more at stake? Who do you think has a lot more at stake?
Daniel, why are you putting
No.
You're putting me on the spot too many times.
Because the book is open now.
Yeah.
Come on. You're a Manchester United fan, I know that. But you also know Tottenham very well.
No,
They've not won a trophy in a donkey years.
Yeah. I'm not going to speak as a...
now speak as a very neutral person.
Yeah, as a very neutral person, and I don't like, in my analysis, I don't like to chip in United. But who I think would win is United.
But who do you think has more at stake?
More at stake. Both teams.
Who's more desperate to win it?
Both teams.
No, it's not both teams. Man United still had you guys have had a glory days. Last 20 years you were up there. But Tottenham has not been there.
They don't have the best of season right now. 16th in the league right now is not the best. I mean, when you look at the caliber at which Manchester United has always been in the league, even when you talk about the EPL, Man U is up there. I mean, better than Tottenham. You understand? I mean, in terms of trophy, you understand? I'm talking about history. You get? I mean, we've had better seasons than Tottenham. So they would be looking forward to going back to those glory days of playing in the Champions League. And there's a new coach, that's Ruben Amorim. I mean, definitely he wants to seal this season, with the Europa League and go on to the Champions League and bolster the squad for next season. So I just think both teams have what is at stake. The only thing that is at stake for them is some of the players like Son. And it's not just all of them. Some of them just joined. Some of the players just joined. But the likes of Son, and Son is injured. So some of them are just desperate to win.
But he's going to be fit before the final.
And yeah,
he's going to be fit. So anyway, from there, this is one story I want us to look at again. Carlo Ancelotti is now clear. He's going to be the Brazil coach.
Yeah.
I was with finance this morning. We talked a little bit about it. I mean, was
not
it
this morning. It was
yesterday?
both of us.
It was both of us. Yeah. I mean, how do you see him succeeding in that place? First, a non-Brazilian manager to coach. A lot of things happening to him right now. He's not getting it well. And he's going to take a team to the World Cup. Not just anything, Brazil. And we know when Brazil go to World Cup, it's not for fun.
Yeah, and they've not had the best of times recently. So they're looking for a manager.
And that's why he's been brought up.
Yeah. They're looking for a manager that will take them to El Dorado right there. But when you look at this man, that's Ancelotti, when you look at the clubs he has managed top clubs. Juventus, AC Milan, I mean,
and he's
Real Madrid,
delivered,
Chelsea,
except for Everton.
I mean, why would
he even go there in the first place?
For Everton? So, but he has managed top clubs, PSG, Real Madrid,
incredible profile,
Bayern Munich. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, top clubs. He returned back to Real Madrid.
It seems like he's no more the man again. It's like a shadow of himself now.
Yeah, some of these top managers, I would say, when he gets to their latter stage, they seem to be losing it because, new
like the likes of
system.
Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, as a things with new technologies and all
It
of
can
it.
be
So,
tough for a older man.
but you know, the likes of Ancelotti, they always believe in the in
that's
what they've
way
been
they've
using.
always
Yeah, so but I don't think
national
honestly,
team.
Honestly, I don't
club.
think Ancelotti is the best for Brazil. I've always liked the Brazil old days of dribbling, likes of Ronaldinho, playing fancy football. For me, I always say it that Ancelotti for me is static, rigid. I mean, no flexibility. You understand?
That's actually what happened to him all through the season. He was just there.
We've known Brazil to be the Samba boys. You see Neymar dribble.
I don't know how he's going to do that.
Yeah, so I think it's just going to restrict them a bit. But you know one thing, even with the restriction, they might get to the finals. Maybe win it. And, you know, that's one thing about Ancelotti. So for me, I used to enjoy Brazil national team. I like the way they always dribble and all of it. So I would want a manager that would give them that flexibility. You have a Vinicius Junior, you have Rodrigo, you have Paqueta, who can do all of those flicks. You understand? Gumaresh was solid for them. Gabriel Jesus, although he's injured. I mean, these are guys that we see them do. I mean, fantasies, do a lot of things. So I would love a manager that would be able to manage them. For Ancelotti, you know one thing that they need at the end of the day is titles, which Ancelotti can actually do for them.
We're always saying that because he's here, he's not in Brazil right now to know exactly what Brazil's got. Because seriously speaking, when he gets to Brazil, I don't see him seeing too many different places, because you know Rodrigo already, you know Vinicius Junior already, and some of these players he's been privileged to see them, to watch them.
Let's check the comments. I mean,
okay, we have comments already.
Yeah.
Let's get to class, please.
Yeah, just check some of the comments. I mean, some of them have gone right here. I'm not with my phone, but Standing Salah says my regards to Pretty. You're doing well. Stanley Salah also said good evening. And he has Jola Osho Ario. I mean, he's already pissed. I mean, I saw his comment and immediately I had to take remember what happened?
Okay.
He said until times runs out before in our comments. So good night. I mean, Jola Osho, we are still here. We're going to read comments, definitely. He also said he likes my jersey. I mean,
go to his comment, please.
I mean, maybe when I get my phone later in the show, we would take the comment. We'll definitely take.
No. We're still looking at. I'm trying to look at the comments now.
All right.
Trying to load the comments because right here it gets a little bit too much for the comments. But Jola Oshorio, you can be rest assured that it's the priority to always make sure. We read the comment earlier this evening, and we're still coming back to that. And before we actually wait for the comments, while we wait for the comments to load, we're talking about Alexander Isak the other time and how you rate him up high here. The manager is already saying, it's like Eddie we have the feeling that he's going to leave this summer, and he's saying it will be a difficult one to replace. I mean, for Newcastle United, 100 million is a price tag here. Do you think they will be letting him go?
Yeah, I think for Isak right now,
a team that will be playing in Europe next season, could that be a smart move?
I don't think he can move to a team that won't be playing in the Champions League. I think Isak has taken himself out.
But why will Newcastle, who will be playing in Europe, let a player like that go?
You know one thing, Newcastle are not a top team like the likes of Real Madrid. They're looking forward to making money, and right when you look at their squad, the only set of players that they can make good money from is the likes of Alexander Isak, Gumaresh. Those are the guys that they would make good money from. So if they get, and you know one thing about Newcastle, they can go on to another league and get a player that you don't even expect.
All right, let me quickly say we have comments now. So we welcome to the class Abib Muyiwa Tijani said, up Liverpool, watching you from Aroro Makinde. Thank you so much. And of course, someone said, Bobola, I love your jersey. Yeah, you saw that already. Thank you. You don't love my own jersey. Yeah. All right, Dolajari also saying Sunderland have reportedly moved the advertising board forward by 3 meters to prevent commentary long-range throwing. Of course, well, as long as that is not against the rule of the game, they are safe. But if it's against the rule of the game, it won't work. And of course, Muyiwa Tijani, I mean, we don't know. We're still seeing your account number here. Finance said it got to you yesterday. Please, let's be sure we verify. Okay, also we have Deborah Favor. Good evening, guys. How are you doing? How is the bad weather today? Watching you from Osho State, Iwo Olodoba. You're welcome. Well, the weather is good.
I mean, just to be precise, that's where I'm from.
Oh, right. I'm from Osho State too. So people from home. Thank you so much. We feel you there, Oni Deborah Favor. Also, Dola Sharia said, Are you talking about Zubendi? Zubendi is
No,
already.
Zubimendi,
Zubimendi, okay. He's
Yeah.
already an Arsenal player, but not official yet. So we're not saying much about him. There's not much in the news about him.
Yeah, I mean,
And
not concrete yet.
Daniel Ambote, I greet. we just doing the show today. There's no hotel here, okay? Ruben Paruk said, both of you now, Lotte, especially that Daniel. I mean, there's no hotel here today. Only Drop says, well done. Or any update about my darling club, Arsenal? There's no updates.
Yeah.
There's no any major update about Arsenal. Somebody said, Osimhen is good, but EPL is Isak. That's only Drop. He said Osimhen is good, but EPL is Isak. Well, I don't know why you guys are rating your very own brother.
They're just being honest.
I mean, being honest, go check the numbers. So go and check the career numbers. You will see who is who. Bobola is funny. So Isak is fine striker. So why is Osimhen ugly striker, right?
I didn't say Osimhen is enough.
I mean,
it's not.
Thank
He
you.
plays well.
Thank you, Jola Rio. I really love that. He said, untouchable striker this season for me, Mbappe. Now, he's written them here. Thank you, Jola Rio. He said, Mbappe, number 1. Gyökeres, number 2. Lewandowski, number 3. What? Number 4, Harry Kane. Number 5, Osimhen. Why are you guys doing like this? And he said, Haaland and Isak are 6 and 7. I don't like I prefer your list. The only problem with your list is I don't know why you are putting Lewandowski, who's been more injured this season, above Osimhen. Anyway, the last one said, he said, does Ilmain has a son? That's something that it's differently. I love that. I see what you try to do there. Well, he has a son, okay? And his name is Son. Well, I say I'm giving Spurs all the way. I don't see Tottenham losing. Thank you, Jola Rio. Of course, he said, Abib Muiwa said, give us today's match fixtures. There are no matches today, but we'll give you, I think, a couple of matches in the Spanish La Liga. Of course, Sani Salah said, good evening. You're doing well. My regards to Pretty. Thank you. He said, on the time runs out before, we don't read the comment now. Jola Rio. Drop the cane. And so John Rose said, well done. Watching you from Lagos, Ikeja. How is the beautiful city of Lagos this evening? Up Manchester City. All these Manchester City fans. I don't know when they start supporting Man City in Nigeria. Well, all the best. We'll keep the comment coming. For matches that will be played today, of course, in the Spanish La Liga, there are a couple of games like that in the Spanish La Liga. I will take you those matches. But what do we have them already?
Yeah, Valladolid, Girona right now as a draw, half-time, both of them. Real Sociedad against Celta Vigo later tonight, and Sevilla against Las Palmas. Those are the games today. Yeah, in the top leagues, you understand. But all the leagues in the Eredivisie, we have relegation playoff. It's not the popular side, but I mean, it's just some of the teams that would be looking forward to playing in the Eredivisie right there. So they're playing the playoffs right there. For any of them that win, they go on to play in the Eredivisie next season. So those are the matches today. I mean,
tonight.
Yeah.
Well, there are not much there tonight, but if you of course want to, watch the games, those are the games for you. Now let's take this very last story from our very own brother who's doing well in Italy. Talk about Lukman Ademola. He said we deserve to be in the. That statement for me. We deserve to be in the Champions League. Bobola, when a player who's clear that he's going to leave the club said we deserve to be in the Champions League. What do you think Big Soul? Lukman Ademola is trying to say. He's trying to say that he's going to be in Atlanta next season. He said it's great feeling we knew how important this game is for our Champions League qualification hopes, and we deliver a performance that reflects that. I always try to be available and give my best whenever I'm on the pitch. The team showed great strength tonight, and there's still 2 games to go, and we want to finish this season with many points as possible. We have to be in the Champions League.
Yeah, they deserve to be. I think he's talking about Atlanta. He's currently signed with Atlanta. So
I was expecting him to say they deserve.
No, he has not moved yet. Now.
Definitely, but
now you adding.
Do see him moving. Do see him moving.
I think it's
because the noise is down now.
Yeah, the noise is down because
he had a run of games that
he didn't perform well. But in the last 2 games, he has scored goals.
He scored 3 goals.
Yeah, so he's back. And he scored a fantastic goal, not just goals. Yeah. So for Lukman, I think he should be looking elsewhere.
Options where?
Maybe in the Premier League again.
Because right now the noise are quiet in the Premier League. Maybe because all of them that are actually in the battle to finish as high as possible in the top 5.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they are not.
Yeah, but I think even if he still wants to play football, I think he should be aiming at the team at the Champions League, a bigger stage. You understand? So any team that's qualified for the Champions League, I wanted him to be at PSG, but it looks like they've gotten a left wing winger. That's Kvaratskhelia, and who's playing well for them. So no chance again at PSG, but in the Premier League right now, any of the top teams, the likes of Newcastle, those are the teams I think it should be settling, because I mean, going to a top team like Man City, Chelsea, I mean, pressure and all of it. One match you're off, people fire you. You get, so maybe the likes of Newcastle. But when you look at the Newcastle left wing, there's Anthony Gordon there. So I'm just looking at the best possible way for him to play good football in Europe. But I think definitely he's got everything on deck and he would make that decision.
All right, we are calling it on the show already. We are calling it a day. But before we go, I'm going to put this to Bobola. Ballon d'Or is out there.
Yeah.
There are news everywhere.
Yeah.
Lamine Yamal. Be honest.
Yeah.
Do you think he's got a shot at this? At 17. I mean,
don't put the edge.
The age matters.
We're talking about a season.
A season. It wasn't as...
And he has performed well.
Okay.
Don't take that away.
So will you give him a Ballon d'Or above the likes of Mohamed Salah?
Him dropping off, Barcelona dropping off from the
Champions League is a big one.
I think he has affected him.
His position.
As well as Rafinha. But he should be making the top 5, honestly. That's Lamine Yamal.
But now that he's no more in the Champions League, the same thing with likes of Mohamed Salah. Do you see Salah back in the mix up there with Dembele and all of that?
In terms of pecking order,
I think Dembele is the one in the driving seat right now.
Yeah, Dembele should be talked about right now. Maybe Lautaro Martinez also should be talked about. But the likes of Lamine Yamal, they should still be above Salah as well as Rafinha. But I still think Rafinha has got the shots.
All right.
Yeah.
That's why we'll be calling it a day on the show this evening. But before we go, let me drop this one transfer story for you that Real Madrid are making total priority for that Bournemouth defender who's also a Spanish defender. Talk about Dean Hudson. Yes, is that total priority.
What's the hype about? I mean this guy is not performing well. I mean,
have you seen him play before? I mean, go look at him. He's a very fine young player.
He's a fine young player, I think he should. What's the hype?
Look at what they're saying now. They say his header is like Ramos, shooting like Ronaldo, defense like Ramos, reflexes like Casillas, left-footed like Messi, right-footed like Ronaldo, leadership like Ramos. I mean, that's what a popular sport analyst is saying about him right there. So, and when you've got that CV, also we have Neymar here said he's supporting Ancelotti to be the new Brazilian coach. So that will be all on the show this evening. But before we go, I want to say big ups to everyone who's making a show for us this evening, who's made it a success for us. Talk about it, man, right there in the streaming room. Marcos, thank you so much, my brother from another mother. Also, Bobola has been my partner today. More like we're doing it together.
Yeah, thank you so much, Daniel. Thank you to all everyone that's listened to the show. And hopefully it becomes better. I mean, if we keep doing this, it's going to get better. And big ups to the guys that have commented.
In the class.
The likes of Jola Osho Ario. I mean, your comments, your likes, your shares. I mean, it goes a long way.
So important.
Yeah, so important. Jola Osho Ario, just to read a few of them. John Rose, Andy Salah, Oni Drop, Noredi, Farouk, Oni Deborah, Adetoberu, Maxwell, Abidemi Desire. I mean, they've done so well.
Big thank you to all of you. Yes, that will be all on the show this evening. Don't forget, don't turn the radio, don't move the dial, don't move anything, because just right here on Melody 100.7, after this we'll be giving you music, and on behalf of course, our very own Oga at the top, Sport Masha himself, Enola Folabi, and of course our boss here in the sports segment, and of course who's the head of programs in this very station, talk about pretty the finest at Degoki. We're saying thank you for listening, thank you for sticking with Melody 100.7. See you tomorrow morning, of course, on Melody Sunrise Sport. Till then, I'll say keep on loving sport, and bye for now.